One of the things me and my family always wanted to do was to visit the Ark Encounter in Kentucky. And on a recent road trip, we were able to do that. Here you're seeing this rainbow entranceway or entryway. And on it you have the scriptures listed there. So this is how you enter in to the park area. And here is the Ark. Now it is massive. When you first just enter the park, just to see that, it's stunning, right? And actually you can see the Ark off in the distance from the parking lot, which is just like, it really is a sight to behold when you are just like coming up on this thing. And here you see kind of the scale of the Ark with Jackie and the girls just out there in the front. It's just really, really, really massive. So my wife and 3 daughters there standing in front, but like it's huge. Here you see some animals cut out of some hedges, which is really nice, a nice touch. And as you're walking toward the entryway to the park, there are these hieroglyphics that kind of tell the story leading up to the Ark. This is the creation of man. You see God creating mankind. I think we're going to get a closer look here. Yes. So that top image is the man being made from the dirt. You see him naming the animals there. Eventually, God takes the woman out from his rib as he's sleeping. And then at the bottom there, you see Adam and Eve there. He has his brand new wife. And there's my wife and daughters there. Joy, just having a good time, rolling along, relaxing, chilling. So this next stone is talking about the temptation, right? In the fall of man, having eaten the fruit. This next one here is the punishment and the promise. This talks about, how God tells them that the man's heel is going to bruise the head of the serpent. They're ushered out of the Garden of Eden. And this next stone up here coming up is going to tell us the story of Cain and Abel, biblical story of Cain and Abel, brothers who, one brother kills the other brother because of jealousy, and this kind of sets off, continued evil in the world, and it begins to spread throughout the world. And here you see the serpent pictured at the top, representing and symbolizing his dominance in the world. And at the bottom, that bottom image there is like the flood, right? The raining, for 40 days, 40 nights, right? As wickedness fills the earth. And so here is the Ark. And so you pass by that, and then it's on to the Ark. And, we're excited. This is what we came for. It was a beautiful day that day. They have a greeter at the entryway. Of course, nice lady there. And we're going up a ramp. Now, these ramps are all throughout the Ark, to take you from one level to the next. But there are elevators in this place. So, if you are in need of an elevator, make sure you ask somebody for that. And I'm sure they'll be able to help you out with that. Now, those sound effects that you're hearing coming from the cages are not actual animals, but they're just trying to give you that experience as if all these cages are containing like little small animals. The sound, I would say, coming from those speakers are very, very realistic sounding. Like when you're in the Ark, it really does feel like there are animals in these little cages. All right, and so when you first come in, right away you see there's like a bunch of cages, and it's trying to paint the picture of like how it might have been that they were able to keep these animals in there for so long. Now, this station in the Ark is a prayer from Noah, and there's actual audio of him praying. It's pretty cool because we know that the Bible says about Noah that he was upright in his generation, so he definitely would be praying on the Ark. So it's pretty cool to see. Now, this is another cage, but in this one you can see the animals that you can actually see a model of the animal. Now, what the makers of this museum are trying to put across is the idea that while the ark might not have been big enough, as big as it is, to carry every species of animal that we know of today, that the animals that we see in the ark or in this exhibit represent a kind of animal that could have maybe further developed in years to come. And so you wouldn't need as many kinds of animals. So you have like an animal that looks kind of like lizard-like, and then many variations of that lizard could have developed over time. And so you don't need to have on the ark every species that we see today, but given time, these other species of a certain kind of animal could begin to develop. And here I'm just showing the lighting and the way, the architecture I thought was really nice. Just trying to give you a feel for the boat itself. Here we are walking up another level, going up to level, I think number 2. That was level 1 that we were on. So here you see that prop, those props of like what looks like sacks of food. Again, they're trying to give you a real picture of what might have been on the ark. And so that was pretty cool to see, just a reminder that, hey, these guys needed to survive. They needed to eat something. And the animals needed to eat, right? So, in those bags, maybe would have been food for them and for the animals. And so we continue our trek up the ramp. Jackie was pointing out how, through the top you can kind of see, you can see through to the sky. They get a really good shot of that, but and you can get a sense for, like, again, just the architecture and the way they put it together, just a lot of detail, and so I thought they did a great job with that. And here is a room in the ark that has a whole bunch of scrolls, which would have been important, right, to preserve stories. This is the last remaining family on earth: Noah, his children, or his sons and their wives. And so, how do you keep a record of everything that came before the flood? If you don't write it down. I mean, there's oral traditions, but writing those down, would be smart, I think. Here is actually, this is supposed to be Noah, and have a really fun thing here where you can choose a question. These are program questions on this touch screen that Crystal and Abigail are standing in front of. So they would pick a question and touch it, and then Noah would go ahead and answer the question, which is pretty cool. There are common questions that come up about the ark, and they have them listed there so that they can give an answer. That's cool. Now, this actually might have been my favorite part of the whole experience, and that is the zoo. So when you pay for entry to the Ark experience, included in that is this zoo. There's also a playground, that's free. And this first part of the zoo, they have an encasement where there are kangaroos, and this is it. Like, the kangaroos are right there. There's not really any separation, not much separation between you and the kangaroos. I thought that was, pretty cool, to be able to just walk and to be so close to, real live kangaroos. Pretty cool. Also in this area was a live boa constrictor on the grass with no fence separating you and this massive snake, which is slowly crawling toward the humans, which was cool to see as well. It's surprising part of the trip. And for me, it's personal preference. Being able to see live animals instead of statues in the ark was better. I mean, but the ark part of it, it's more of a learning experience and trying to help you to conceptualize what it would have been like on the ark. So it's very educational and very informative. Whereas this, it's a lot more interactive, maybe more stimulating for the children. So the zoo part of this whole thing is a nice touch. Now, another interesting feature was Camel Rides. You could actually, at certain parts of the day, ride one of these camels, providing you're less than 200 pounds, and you have an extra $10 that you want to spend. So the Camel Ride was an extra 10 to go in and meet the camels. I think it was like just $3, which was pretty cool. Like I thought that was a, you know, awesome. Just for an extra $10 to be able to experience a camel ride was, I thought, a great value. And this whole trip, I think overall, was a great value. We ended up spending a little bit over $100 for entry to the park. That is a charge for adults, but children are free. So children get to enter the park for free. And so we have 3 small children. One's an infant, and we didn't pay anything for them. So, it came out to being, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you divided that, a little over 100, by 5, you ended up with like less than $30 per person, technically. Now, while you had to pay to go in and, ride a camel or meet a camel, these guys were actually no additional cost to go and see. With the price of admission to the park overall, you can go and see these goats and meet them and pet them and get up real close. Me and my daughters got into this I don't know, I'm calling it this enclosed area. We're able to pet the goats. And finally, this is that playground, really awesome looking playground. Kids were having a blast out there. And this is also part of it. It's totally free. I definitely enjoyed my trip to the Ark experience. I thought it was amazing. I definitely would recommend the Ark Encounter for you and your family, especially if you have small children. I think it'd be an awesome experience for them to enjoy. And so, if you like this video, please give us a like and subscribe. Until the next video, take care, guys. God bless you.